I have a cold. So today I'm going to talk about the Delirium trilogy by Lauren Oliver.
I'd rather be peculiar.
So the basic premise is that they are set in a parallel world, not a future world, where love is considered a disease. And it's called Amor Deliria Nervosa. It's considered a disease because people will go to extreme lengths for love, and I feel like that threatens whatever psychos run this society. I don't know, just making that up for the top of my head. Start off with book one. I actually have a bit to say about these books, unlike my Ugly series. I thought I would have a lot to say about this series, but thinking about it, what I really just found interesting about this series was the hoverboards. To me, part of what made these books distinct is how it was written. It was written in such a way where you feel, in my opinion, very connected to the character in the world because it's written not only in first person but in real time. Most stories are written in past tense. This character was born here and this character said this. In the Delirium trilogy, it says the character says this. They come forward, not they came forward. You can saying it's real time. It also evokes colours and senses, and it's like sensory writing, if that makes sense, in my opinion. I could be making this up. But I just feel like just remembering some things. For example, the descriptions of peeling oranges in the first chapter, and about how they smelled, and about the colours. Unusual yet really specific, good descriptions. The author's really good at describing ideas and using analogy. She's a good writer, Lauren Oliver, which is a thing most people say, but I think that's true. I have a lot of criticism for these books as well. Even though the way it's written connects you with the character, I never felt very connected to the characters. I did enjoy reading these books. If I had to give them a rating, and I'm coming up with this right on the spot, not very professional, I would give the first book 3.5 to 5 stars depending on mood. I would give the second book 2.5 stars. I read these books after the Ugly series, I think, so the whole thing with the people living in the woods was very familiar, but I preferred it in the Ugly series. I really liked the smoke better than the encampment, whatever it was, for the Delirium series. Okay, so book one. There's some quotes I loved. Okay, I feel like these books are very quotable, and one of the quotes was, "These people in my life seemed like they had it all together." And for some context, she fell in love, okay? So she's looking at them and she's thinking, the whole point of living in the first place is to find love. So she seen her aunts and stuff differently and seen that they were really missing out. These books were tense to read, you definitely got invested. There were some parts that are really deep, and I didn't want to discuss them because of that. Just so serious, I think. Especially with the mother storyline. I really feel like Lena's mother, what was she called? Lena? I think she was my favourite character. I also really remember smiling big when the escape scene come and aunt and uncle were in the room and they seen her escaping through the window, and then our younger sister spoke for the first time to distract them, and everybody turned around and then she just jumped out the window. It was so sad, but victorious. And I'm not saying I support it. I can totally understand wanting to escape that crazy society at the same time. She definitely needed to get away from society. So it was good that she was escaping, but I mean the whole eloping part of it. I also don't believe that there is an operation that could control that part of a person. I feel like the brain definitely affects some things. Okay, so I'm bad at this. This is not meant to be I'm good at discussing that. I'm just a human that's read these books and wants to speak about it. I'm just going to skip to when, was he called? Julian and Lena. Was she called Lena? Her and Julian got kidnapped, and I can remember Julian was supposed to the Beatles, and I can remember that. And I remember at first, rooting for them, oh, this is a cool couple. It seemed believable for a split second, and it was I didn't believe this anymore, personally. And then there was the whole Alex and Lena storyline. Okay, they were believable. I thought that a deep sort of topic that was brought up was how Alex was loving her by not doing almost what would be expected of him, because that would be like tearing her heart apart. Do you get what I'm saying? And that's sort of the analogy used. They use the story in Proverbs with the two mothers. I feel like there's a lot of deep going-ons in these books. Some other things that come to mind is a scene where they are in this like deserty place with the river. That's what it was in my mind. And like the government people like block the river to try and like dry them out. Crazy. I can believe that because I feel like the world is already like that. The world already hates love, in my opinion. And like I'm not saying like I'm on the good side, but what I'm saying is like the world definitely is like that already. There's also a lot of comparison between the walls and that and the whole Trump thing. And it's interesting because them books come out a while ago. It's like it's telling the future slightly. I'm just going to go on a tangent. I'm not kissing anyone's. I don't want to be about catering to people, so I'm not saying that I'm not on some way, but why does anybody own land more than anybody else? It's stupid. I believe that the people in America should be allowed to live in America, so why should the people outside of America not be allowed to live in America? That doesn't make any sense to me, because everybody is an immigrant. Everybody in Britain is probably an immigrant. You all come from somewhere else. I'm pretty sure that the first humans weren't born in Britain, but that doesn't mean that they never had the right to live in Britain. So there's no such thing as an illegal immigrant, and everybody on this earth owns the right to live and to use the land to stay alive. You can own land in a certain way, you can get legal protection over your ownership of land, but that doesn't mean that. But it's all about sustaining human life. That's what it should all be about. Aye, so the refugees definitely deserve to live in America, the UK, Scotland, do you come of saying? They definitely do. Requiem, if I'm saying that right. The third book. I've probably already been quoting that this whole time. I wanted like Lena and Hannah, I think she was called, to like make up and become friends again, and for sort of like Hannah to show that the cure doesn't actually destroy like a really deep friendship or something. This is all over the place. Another quote I loved was when Lena said she really missed the blessing to just be bored with her best friend. I really like that. And again, overall, my feelings about this trilogy is it was like a beautiful thing, but kind of like a weird feeling off it. I don't know. I would give Requiem 4 to 5 stars. High. That's a high for the pinnacle of a series. And I loved the ending. Some folk hated the ending. I liked that. We're taking down the walls.